Speciality Spotlight. Fist. How to consume primal wrath. Every attack and heal using fists generates fury. When your fury meter gets above this threshold, you can activate Frenzied Wrath or Invigorating Wrath. You will gain new powerful abilities while under the effect of Wrath. You can continue to use those abilities until your fury meter is fully drained.
So fast. If this gets out into Tokyo... It doesn't. We'll stop it here, whatever it takes. Let's do this. Take it like all the other occult disasters, right?
We really have to stop it.
Don't let it get on you. Don't even breathe in. She's reacting to us. She knows we're coming.
It's getting thick. It's a capsule. Cousin doesn't know you're coming. It just is. Keep the bastards at a distance, then take them out.
That's your plan?
Well, it's a plan.
Good point, Sarah.
Incoming!
cavalry has arrived. Even where the filth corrupts, Gaia's power endures. Take it into yourself. Breathe it out. Will this broken body mended? Good. But even Gaia will be tested by what is to come.
Making a stand wasn't working out.
Yeah, about that. This ain't looking much better, to be honest.
Now is not the time for argument.
Told you he would say that.
Well done!
Something's coming out of the ground.
What the bloody hell is that thing?
Watch out! The gate's opening! They're not stopping!
And they will not stop. This is all to hold us back.
Top marks for effort.
Someone has to push through. This confusion may be all the time we have.
Someone? Go! Go! Look out! It's all coming down!
Pineal gland. Overstimulated. Higher brain functions. Functioning. That is great work. Well above MK Ultra success rate. Hey, can I ask you, have you ever seen a jaguar tripping?
Zerd!
Well, yes. Look it up sometime. Hey, you better haul ass to the test chamber. Jump through a few hoops. Oh, and you may be feeling some discomfort from the microchip that I grafted to your spinal column. No worries, though. I mean, it's gonna fade, really. And as your doctor, I'd caution you, strongly caution you, don't try removing it, okay? I went through a bunch of acronyms to get where I am today. NIMH, the CIA, the SAD. I was heading the MK Ultra project during the 80s. This was after it had been publicly shit-canned, obviously. Mind control. Wow, that's a great, great field. A lot of potential. This place is something else, man. Wow. You know, I haven't been outside the labyrinth since 2003. I really should check, see if I still have clearance. But I've been so tied up at the office, running the whole spectrum. New inductions, enhanced interrogations, exit interviews. I don't really do much in the way of human interfacing. It's not really my department. I know this because they've been gradually raising the quarantine level of my lab to stop people getting in. You're probably not even allowed to be here, man. But I won't tell. You're safe. You got a lot of new, conflicting information about reality to take in, man. I'm almost jealous. Your mind will try to reject it for as long as it can hold out. Well, that's just learned behavior. That's a passing thing, man. Don't worry about it. So since before science was science, man has explored many different paths to enabling the full human potential. Medical, natural, occult, yada, 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 yada. All of them operating within set boundaries, or as I like to think of them, speed bumps on the highway to success. What can I say, man? Some advanced R&D groups get all the breaks. They're a private company, no audits or regulations to waste time on. They cherry-picked a think tank out of the best universities and government agencies and war crime tribunals in the world.
Everyone's watching you.
Have you killed the Templars today? Unauthorized use of magic will be reported to the magicians.
You look taller on CCTV.
My name is Henry Cicero, and I am your... Cheers! Now, some might debate my loyalty to the people who voted for me. But democracy is not about serving the interests of every simple-minded Joe Schmo out there who, quite frankly, has no idea what's good for him. No. Democracy is about getting shit done while maintaining the illusion that the people's voices are heard. You guys understand that? You know, I really like you guys. and not just because you know how to hold your liquor. You've got this pulling the strings from the shadows act down to an art.
Look at the performance numbers
There
on
isn't
that
a
one.
single decision-making body left in the country where the Illuminati don't have any representatives, and yet nobody knows who you are. If you don't like something, you get someone to change it. If you can't change it, you buy it, and then change it anyway. Kudos, my friends. It's the American way. The secret world and me, we have the most perfect of arrangements. I get all the perks and none of the pain. I'm invited to all the parties. I get to fight my battles in the relative safety of the Senate, and nobody's relying on me to save the world. And let's not kid ourselves. That last bit, it's a good thing for all of us. I don't know how you guys do it. I can only count on the fact that you do. Goodbye now.
How's that new pancreas working out for you? I went through a bunch of acronyms to get where I am today. NIMH, the CIA, the SAD. I was heading the MK Ultra project during the 80s. This was after it had been publicly shit-canned, obviously. Mind control. Wow, that's a great field. A lot of potential.
We're waiting to hear back on our
The big deal inside the agency at that time was extra-human abilities. Less of a zero-sum market than nukes. The Reds, industrious little dudes that they were trying to breed their own super soldiers, you know? In Soviet Russia, science makes you. We took an identify and exploit approach, working with subjects like you, younger where possible, from around the States. A few we borrowed from other nations, and civilian experiments, a whole lot of civilian experiments. We sprayed LSD like it was going out of style. But there was a ceiling, a very tangible ceiling. After we'd burned through the first 30 million in research grants, oh boy. Accountability, recriminations, constitutional rights, is a real bad scene. Yes, I'm grateful to the Illuminati for really moving things forward.
Lawyer up.
This place is something else, man. Wow! You know, I haven't been outside the labyrinth since 2003. I really should check, see if I still have clearance. But I've been so tied up at the office, running the whole spectrum. New inductions, enhanced interrogations, exit interviews. You might think that it all blurs into one, but the barbiturate doses are very, very different. That's why I use Post-it notes, you know? And medicinal drugs.
Smells like the senators.
It's a completely self-sustaining arcology down here. No one even knows how big it is anymore. Big enough to be a drag on the national grid, man. But it's all purpose-built, though. The architecture mimics, get this, the dimensions of the cave systems used by the Mayans. Gateways to the underworld. Only we get cable down here, too. A lot of cable.
Is this thing on?
Have you ever had an altered state experience under the Yucatan Peninsula? I can simulate the basics for you with an isolation tank. I don't really do much in the way of human interfacing. It's not really my department. I know this because they've been gradually raising the quarantine level of my lab to stop people getting in. You're probably not even allowed to be here, man. But I won't tell. You're safe. Here's the thing. After you view organisms on a macrobiological level for so long, it's like you've read all the spoilers. The exchange of signifiers, establishing the dominant-submissive hierarchy, the pheromonal checks and balances. That's a lot of work to go through for a conversation, am I wrong? There are considerably faster methods to facilitate information transfer. Just ask Kirsten Gary. No, don't. Really, don't. I'm only here to do my part in shuffling the illuminated towards a higher mental level. Spiritually scientific level, man. Yes! Although you You're fascinating. Long dormant senses reattuning. Sectors of your brain, ancient memory sectors, are growing. Wow, man. All thanks to that bee in your bonnet. If we could only just pry that little sucker out and ask it a few questions. Oh well.
80s rap
Try again.
For all media libraries.
You got a lot of new, conflicting information about reality to take in, man. I'm almost jealous. Your mind will try to reject it for as long as it can hold out. Well, that's just learned behavior. That's a passing thing, man. Don't worry about it. It's very liberating to feel those old behaviors giving way. Thought connections stretching like chewing gum and then snapping. There's a small risk of triggering some deep-rooted psychosis, but overall, those cases are rare. They're really, really rare, man. Nothing judicious application of ECT can't shake. Humans are so eager to accept rational explanations. When I worked for the agency, we sure massaged that eagerness. Exploited the hell out of it. We pumped a lot of stuff into the water supply too, man. Woo! A lot of stuff. Oh, but don't worry about it. System while you were unconscious. You're good, dude.
The chief takeaways are that the vision
now you can witness terrible things. Things that a month ago, a week ago, might have blown your rational mind. You can do terrible things too. Although you don't have science and magic to thank for that, man. That's all you, baby. So since before science was science, man has explored many different paths to enabling the full human potential. Medical, natural, occult, yada, 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 yada. All of them operating within set boundaries, or as I like to think of them, speed bumps on the highway to success. Limitations. What we should or shouldn't do, how far is too far. Oh, wow. Talk about losing sight of the end goal, man.
For personal calls.
That's what makes this organization so appealing. That Illuminati are big enablers. The New World Order isn't about removing freedom. It's about delivering, forcefully delivering, man, the opportunity to achieve, for us to reascend, to really work that top spot on Darwin's ladder. This is a very exciting time and place to be a scientist. I didn't show any hesitation in accepting their offer. They really didn't need to threaten me at all, man. Great power requiring great responsibility isn't a cautionary tale, man. It's a tragedy. But we're beyond that, man. Way, way beyond that. What can I say, man? Some advanced R&D groups get all the breaks. They're a private company, no audits or regulations to waste time on. They cherry-picked a think tank out of the best universities and government agencies and war crime tribunals in the world. All the money that group makes off Saturday morning cartoons and tablet computers, GM foods, daisy cutter bombs, all that goes straight back into tech. And no sense of humor. You think we play hardball? Oh man, let me tell you, we work with Orochi, work around them, work on them, and I've been part of some accelerated encouragement programs, but they do not slip up. They must have a great internal review process, man. Well, until now, sure, any dimensional dirty bomb you can walk away from is a good one. But now, everyone's gonna be looking at the Orochi Tower and asking, what have they been building in there? Oh, and I, for one, cannot wait to find out. I'm grabbing popcorn for this one, people.
You need to go through total awareness now.
I swear, this is just a routine examination.
Hey, what can you do for me? Tell you a little about myself? No way. I've data scraped enough matchmaking sites to know where that leads. Anyway, I'm busy tonight. Security review, compiling, benzodiazepines on the rocks. Tell you a little about myself? No way. I've data scraped enough matchmaking sites to know where that leads. Anyway, I'm busy tonight. Security review, compiling, benzodiazepines on the rocks. Sure, it's pretty cool down here. You probably wouldn't understand, but out behind the soundproofing and the two-way mirrors and the chemical deterrents in the guts of the labyrinth, I feel like a kid on a sleeping giant, dreaming the traffic of the world. It's not like I'm power tripping. It's mostly running numbers and server calls and, you know, really voyeurism loses its edge after about 20 minutes of your first Illuminati office party. I'm about challenging myself with solutions for data management, and in this place I get to manage like all the data. Also, my therapist said I could try to ease myself slowly into enjoying human interactions through observing them. I wouldn't usually come straight out with something like that, but on current projections, it's 50-50 we won't see each other again because you get killed anyway. The beauty of our system is that you're still indelibly recorded. Think of it as your 15 terabytes of fame. You will always be part of the Illuminati in some data warehouse. Yeah, the secret world, with more major air quotes around the secret every day. I was already over it. If you want to see the most fucked up things ever, just go online. Real talk, don't act like I haven't got access to all your chat logs. Because we grew up alongside the internet. We were the first desensitized generation with our machine God-given ability to see everything wrong with the world all of the time. Even back in the 1980s, the Illuminati had predicted the internet would change everything. Not just gonzo conspiracy theorists being able to barf all over Usenet, but that in 30 years anyone could record an exorcism on their mobile phone and upload it to YouTube. No more secrets. So they had to control it. They planned out the networks like bonsai. A nip here, a tuck there, always a backdoor access. Blowing, then pricking the .com bubble, for which I am super thankful because it was a really shitty gig. And we have the kill switch for the whole thing. In case of emergency, break world. Let me guess, Rockstar, you want to know where the party's at. It's underground, and no, I can't spoof you through the security gates if you don't already have clearance. When you were headhunted, did they run that whole work hard, play hard spiel? Exactly. So because we choose the young and hungry, new hires always see this gig as slam dunking a few deals, getting loaded, and dancing badly to those rap videos we seed with all-seeing eye imagery. Don't get me wrong, it's not like that doesn't happen. They call it team building. Or sometimes team building means waterboarding, just to keep agents guessing. The Templars really do have a direct line back to Babylon, yada yada, which coincidentally is pretty much where their computer literacy peaked. Millions in old money, heavily armed goon squads across the world, but security vulnerabilities like you wouldn't believe. I'm talking plain text passwords. If they roll up and tell you they're gonna save your soul, you say, guys, I wouldn't trust you to save my credit card info. You really want to make the VIP list at the pyramid? I recommend finding something that makes people afraid of you, then getting really good at it. My talent is having admin-level access to all the board members' hard drives. Basically what I'm saying is no one even invites me out anymore. It sucks ass. They got hit by rapid modernization really hard, clocked on their asses hard, and never really recovered enough to stop us climbing over them. I can't sympathize, but I can understand it. Imagine your institution is built on knowledge being power, and now anyone with a web browser can be like, here you go, boom, cover-to-cover scans of the Key of Solomon. That sound you hear, like breaking China? It's the sound of 1,000 little oligarch dreams collapsing around them. History isn't written by the victors anymore. It's rewritten by the Wikipedia vandals. Oh, I love these guys. Really fun from a predictive security perspective, trying to guess what they'll come up with next if even their agents don't know. They've always gone hard on the secret part of secret society. I wouldn't call them really web-facing, but they're pros, naturals, at weaponizing the internet. See, back when the information was precious and traveled slowly, the Dragon worked silently. Now we have so many sources that can be triggered immediately. They can be as loud as they like in the information chaos. The world being how it is, and people being how they are, it just takes one scare gone viral, one tweet to set it off. In the hysteria of heightened awareness, our chances of isolating the event that's actually happening are like zip. So, we become as paranoid as those numerology conspiracy nuts who think math is an Illuminati plot, and we jump at everything that goes wrong. Sometimes it really was the Dragon. Sometimes your day just sucked. Lose, lose. Right. The happy self-improvement Church of the Apocalypse. Fastest growing web presence of the decade, because their new followers drop out of other social networks. The networks are freaking out, offering Morning Light the metrics they sell to advertisers. It's wild. Average global response time for a Morning Light representative to hit a forum thread discussing trigger topics like unemployment, depression, economic uncertainty is 45 minutes. We looked into it, and there's no spam bots, no automation. That means thousands of manual searches and responses. Hello, crazy cult. And still, Morning Light are filed under not an issue on our grand plan, even though our spooks are all, hello, red flag, red flag. It's like we've got a game of internet chicken going on to see who blinks and commits an atrocity first. Maybe the situation right now is where that's got us. Well, you know it's not my place to talk policy unless it's IT policy. Not like anybody pays any attention to that either. I'm wasted here. No, I mean I really am wasted. I'll see you around.
Don't think I don't know what you're thinking.
Her division goes through agents like they're nicotine gum.
I was an ordinary valley girl. Major in human resources, daddy in real estate who paved our driveways with his gold cards and shitty cologne. Rest in peace. Until one night in the hills, a couple of guys who were up to no good fucked with the wrong girl. Frat boy necromancers. Ugh, the worst. Especially when they man up from sacrificing neighborhood pets to abducting undergrads. But they didn't check me for mace or duct tape, and the next thing you know, it's all, "You can't do this to us, bitch, we're Illuminati." Now, I got to thinking, A, if you're a member of a secret society, you should keep that to yourself. Even under torture. I mean, seriously, cry me a river. And B, only my friends call me bitch. Well, anyway, to cut a long, aggravated assault short, I realized Illuminati clearly needed to work on their employee handbook. Now, I had just graduated, just killed a few guys. I was looking for work placement. It was totally serendipitous. I mostly deal with the new talent, but the Labyrinth is our organization's brain trust. We bring in key opinion formers from across the board. Government agencies, the Senate, law firms, financial markets, mass media. What you're going to find is that individually, they're compromised by being drama queens, or cokeheads, or psychos. But try to appreciate the big picture. They're all part of a vast decision matrix, which you will only be involved in on the trickle-down level. I know that sounds like a submissive sex act, but don't take it personally. We're necessarily big on separation of responsibility. Otherwise, we just lose too much velocity on recriminations. See, back in the day, Illuminati were throwing each other under carriages, slipping rat poison in the absinthe 24/7. Infighting was really cutting into the bottom line. So we had to realign to a corporate model. Now there are due processes and risk management in place, a second-party group to handle terminations. We've turned vendetta into healthy internal competition. Healthy for the winners. The New York tunnels have been around longer than the city. When the Illuminati moved here, we hustled an architect over from Germany to do the sacred geometry of this place. It drove him crazy. He killed himself when the blueprints were finished, but you know how seriously creatives take everything. The design really was future-proof. This is all still the original spaces. We've centralized a lot, except the server farm keeps expanding. It's like a map painting from a 70s sci-fi movie. You can get lost in there. The rest of the maze you should be lucky enough to never see. The old detainment block and medical facility, that's questions and answers now. It's mostly soundproofed. Mostly. And some of the old board members keep suites way out in the wings. They're not big on FaceTime. They have extreme health issues, extreme privacy issues, extreme issues. Do us both a favor and stay in the main concourse. I understand you tested positive for magic powers. I'm not so into that stuff. I'm more of a .44 caliber girl. Just ask my ex-husband. Unless they're cleaning out his respirator tubes. But good for you. You're really going to be drinking from the weirdness fire hose. There's no acclimatization period. You used that up already. In all the time before our recruiter cold called. The world is a super messed up place. And you knew it when you were a kid. Or totally alone, or when you actually thought about it. So you didn't think about it. I'm not even laying an ice burn on you. Check me out. I grew up on the alien planet of California, and I didn't think about the Nevada Triangle, or that cult of Kali and Redondo Beach, the West Coast surfers of the apocalypse, and so on. It was easier that way. And in a very real sense, this is the message Illuminati have been sending to the masses. We think, so they don't have to. We take enlightenment for the team. You had better not be having second thoughts. I am so not the rah-rah girl. Or if you want an Illuminati history lesson, then you need to understand history is adjustable. It blurs big time. When we tell people what to think today, what actually happened back then is no big whoop. All that matters is the future. The future we're building. You're going to see that the Earth is up for inheritance, and the meek are, well, shit out of luck. Only Illuminati have the capital, the network, and the drive for sweet success to really close the deal on this millennium. If you can keep up with the bleeding edge of a future-focused organization, we can use you in our new world order. If it turns out you can't, then there's room in history's grave for one more fossil. And no one will remember you. Yeah, that would suck. So work for us, and let us work for you. Because we're the conspiracy that's bringing sexy back. Have you seen the other guys' uniforms? Some Illuminati become emotionally compromised just hearing the name. I'm beyond it now. We're perfect and haters will hate, but I should make it very clear that the Templars started this. Red and blue, we never hit it off. Way before America, that was just sticking a fork in it and twisting. We're about power behind the throne. They want a double throne. We couldn't give a rat's ass what people do, as long as it's what they're told. They're control freaks. The saddest thing is, they haven't changed. If Templars got their way, which they did for a really long and boring stretch of history, we'd still be out tilling the soil. Good, honest work, kept safe from this season's evil by the guys with the biggest swords. I've got nothing against judge, jury, and executioner. I loved RoboCop, it's so funny. But these goons with their fascist style guides and hard-on for Empire have dated so badly. This isn't a rivalry, it's euthanasia. It's our time.
The morning light are everywhere.
Talk about a non-starter. I don't want you reading any sign of weakness into me saying we've given up on the dragon, but we have basically given up on the dragon. They're the one that got away from the think tank. Anarchy is an analyst's nightmare. These guys are completely non-localized, completely independent. The top-down view is an aftermatch report from a game of Twister. One hand doesn't have any knowledge of the other. One's a rogue salaryman in Japan, the other's a hacker in Iceland or something. If we ever lucked out and busted a whole dragon cell, we got nothing. Not a single value proposition our interrogators could usefully apply. It was putting them in therapy. The interrogators. Totally wasted process. At the end of the day, we had to cut our losses. Admit that sometimes a society of crazy town anarchists is just a society of crazy... Talk about a non-starter. I don't want you reading any sign of weakness into me saying we've given up on the dragon, but we have basically given up on the dragon. They're the one that got away from the think tank. Anarchy is an analyst's nightmare. These guys are completely non-localized, completely independent. The top-down view is an aftermatch report from a game of Twister. One hand doesn't have any knowledge of the other. One's a rogue salaryman in Japan, the other's a hacker in Iceland or something. If we ever lucked out and busted a whole dragon cell, we got nothing. Not a single value proposition our interrogators could usefully apply. It was putting them in therapy. The interrogators. Totally wasted process. At the end of the day, we had to cut our losses. Admit that sometimes a society of crazy town anarchists is just a society of crazy town anarchists. We're still writing off investments to them every year. It's like a ninja tax. So, when you get the opportunity, inflict some buyback. The Phoenicians are pirates. I know. When I was first briefed, I was all, what, like Napster? But they're a lot less .com. As an operation, they haven't changed much in 3,000 years. Which goes to show what a growth industry theft and murder really represents. And they work hard to keep themselves at the top of that sector. We've outsourced operations to them before, but don't assume that makes us partners. It's a mercenary thing. A contractual thing. Phoenicians don't take sides. Only Swiss bank transfers. There's a big diplomatic gray area around them, since no one can be seen openly associating with Phoenician agents, even though they're sitting right there on the Council of Venice, comparing tattoos and prison scars. Currently, there's nothing on the table between us, so I really want to encourage negative trust in any encounters. I guarantee you'll meet them soon enough. They have a gift for sniffing out trouble spots. I'll observe and report and then shanking at the first sign of weakness. Come to think of it, they'd make great paparazzi. If there's one good thing about democratic bodies, it's that they can be rigged. But that's the one good thing. We're responsible adults. We don't need big grandfather checking up on us. In writing. I mean, it's actual letters with wax seals. I'm serious. It's like being door-knocked by Renaissance fair. Venice, the Venusians, whatever, they're a power trip with no power. The peace they think they maintain is a joke. It always has been, and they're the last to get it. Even the Templars hate them. And when the dudes in capes and armor say you're out of touch, you know, ouch. The reality is that the modern world keeps shrinking, and none of the societies are big on sharing. We pay lip service to Venice laws because you shouldn't make fun of the elderly. Also, they just eat up FUD tactics, and then all of a sudden there's an inquisition or a war in Asia. Any government you can bend is a useful government, but usefulness wears out. You know, I am going to add you to my professional network.
Am I human, or just an eye in the sky?